Welcome back, guys. Mike here with Things You Might Like, and I have had a ton of people ask me about my reshade settings for the desert map. And I was going to show you a bunch of examples in game and show you why I think these settings are great, but I'll just let this kill footage tell its own story, and then if you want to see more, then you can check out some of my live gameplay to see how it looks in game. But we are just going to real quick go over the exact filters I am using and their values on each of the settings, and that way you can get up and running as quick as possible. And before we jump into the actual settings, let me show you what I'm working with my in-game settings, so you kind of have a baseline there of what to understand. Hop over to graphics, and I finally got a new monitor that runs 2560 by 1440, so no more window mode, thank goodness. I have pretty much everything set to very low except anti-aliasing is at ultra and texture is at medium. So those are going to be the settings I am working with, and of course screen sale is set to 100. So let's jump right into it by hitting Shift F2. Now I'm currently in performance mode. I haven't really noticed much of a difference between performance and configuration mode, but I leave it in performance mode anyway. So we're going to go to configuration mode, pop over, and currently I am using curves, fake HDR, Luma Sharpen, and Vibrance. Curves and fake HDR are going to help with your brightness, Luma Sharpen is going to help with your clarity, and Vibrance help with the colors. So first let's take a look at curves. Let me shut them all off. You can see how curves slightly flattens the image, and that kind of helps bring up the darker areas by taking out some of the contrast. So in curves under contrast, I have it set to a negative 0.34. And remember, this is going to vary monitor to monitor, so I'm just showing you kind of a baseline of what I'm doing, and feel free to tweak this however you like so that it fits your screen. So next we're going to move on to HDR, and this is the big one. This is what I've moved to over levels. I used to use levels, but now I like fake HDR, so thank you for everyone that's suggested using that. So we click on fake HDR. That's what really brightens up this image, and it washes it out a little bit, but we'll take care of that with Vibrance. We hop into fake HDR, and I have the power set to a 0.72, the radius 1 and 2 set to a 0.96. Next we're going to look at Luma Sharpen. If you take a look at the grass and the grill of the car right here, once I turn on Luma Sharpen, watch what happens. You can see that those edges and that clarity that it offers to it. You can even go into Luma Sharpen, and if you want to see just how much sharpening is happening in the Show Sharpen settings, click on, and it'll show you exactly what's happening. I have it set, the sharp strength set to a 2.652, so you can see how it's softer, and then it sharpens and sharpens and sharpens. So I'm going to bring it down to 2.6. In fact, that's actually a little too sharp, so let's bring it to a 2. It doesn't make a ton of difference after you get, after a 1.5. So I'll just leave it on a 2. Sharp clamp is a 0.295, and offset bias is a 1. And I like how much sharpness that gives me because the test servers are a little bit soft, so keep in mind this very well may change once they go live. We'll see how much of this carries over into the live servers. And lastly, we have Vibrance. This is where our color is going to come from, and it's a pretty yellowish and greenish map, so feel free to play with these to whatever you like, but I like to just have a hint of color, and I have my Vibrance set to a 0.44, the first option set to a 1.2, second to a 1.4, and third just left at a 1.0. And that's pretty much going to be my settings, and I have it all set to F3, so if we hop out of this, you can see that this is the before. A little bit drab looking, especially around the edges, almost look like they have a vignette filter put on. And then if I turn my settings on, it brightens up the image real well. I like what this does for me in game. I feel like things are much clearer. Guys are a lot easier to see, especially through the trees and through all of there's a lot of lines like fences and poles and posts, and this makes those a little bit more crisp, which helps you to see what is on the other side of them. So I really like these settings. As always, they're going to shift, they're going to change as the game evolves, and I will keep you guys updated with that as it happens. So if these settings help you out, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I love engaging with you guys, and if you liked it, like the video, and if you are new here, consider subscribing. We like to go into Reshade a lot, and in my live streams I also like to talk about Reshade and help people out. This is turning into a community of really helping each other out, especially with in-game settings and Reshade. So if that interests you, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. This is Mike with Things You Might Like, and I will see you with my next cool thing.